Hello and welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Marin and here you will find a little beauty, a little books, and a little teaching content. So if that sounds like something you might enjoy, I would love for you to subscribe and stick around and join me in my little corner of YouTube. Today's video is going to be my end of the year TBR. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now I am going to be doing this TBR in terms of the goals that I set for myself at the beginning of the year, just to kind of see where I am with them, what I might still need to read, that kind of thing. So if you are curious, I did a mid-year check-in with these same goals. I will link that up in the cards so you can go back and watch. I have made some progress on some things, so let's go ahead and just dive on in. So my first goal was to read at least 100 books in 2024. I am currently ahead of schedule by 8 books because I am sitting at 97 books read. So by the end of the year, I will have read over 100 books. So this one is doing very well. At the mid-year check-in, I was behind by like 5 or 6 books. So I managed to catch up and get ahead, which is awesome. My next goal was to complete my 24 in 2024 list. If you are curious about that list, I will link it up above and in the description box. You can go back and watch that. But basically, I have read 19 of the 24 books thus far, which means I have 5 books left and like a month and a week to get them done. So the books that I still need to read are tricky for me because they, except for one, they don't have audiobooks. So I don't read a lot of books physically during the school year. I rely heavily on audiobooks. And because I did very little reading over the summer when I was recovering from my ankle surgery, I have all of these books left that don't have audio that I'm gonna have to try to shoehorn in. So let's kind of chat about the 5 that I have left. So the first one is actually on my November TBR. I am planning on getting this one read over my Thanksgiving break. That one is Tamar by Mal Pete. This one is chunky, but it doesn't have a ton of words on the page. So with my, 5 days off for break, I should be able to get it done, but this is the first one, and this is one that does not have an audiobook. The next one is Brightly Woven by Alexandra Bracken. This is another one that does not have an audiobook, or at least doesn't have one that I don't have to pay for. There might be one on Audible, but I don't want to pay for it. This one is quite short, so I feel like I could get this done over the course of a weekend. The font is pretty big. I just have not had a chance to get to it. It's been on monthly TBRs for several months and I still haven't read it, but this is the second one that I still need to get to. The next one is Wildwood Dancing by Juliette Marillier. This one does have an audiobook on Everand, and that's probably how I'm going to read it, but I cannot access that until the 24th because it is one of those like premium ones, and I'm not interested in upping my subscription and paying more money, so I'm just waiting for that one to be available. But that one I should be able to listen to on audio, which will help. The next one is The Dirt, which is a autobiography, if you will, of the band Motley Crue. This one also has an audio, but it is another one of those like premium titles, which is currently locked, so I can't read it right now. I have to wait until it becomes available, so it will also get listened to, but just not yet. And then the last one on this list is the one that's probably going to give me the most trouble. That is The History of the Peloponnesian War by Thucydides. I read the histories by Herodotus last year, and I did it by reading like a chunk every day for the course of a month or so. That is my plan for this one as well. This is not as long as the histories, so I feel like if I can be smart about how I block this out, it should be able to get done over the course of the month of December. But it definitely has a lot going on. I'm kind of looking to see where this actually ends. It's got a lot of appendices and maps and things like that. So this actually is 605 pages long. So it's chunky, but I'll see if I can't poke at it throughout the month of December and get it finished. My next goal was to read at least 6 classics this year, and I am happy to report that I have accomplished that goal. I do, however, still have 1 classic on my TBR for the rest of the year because I would like to read Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. This one is available on audio. I think it's narrated by Rosamund Pike, which should be a good time to listen to, but this will hopefully get read in the month of December, and I can complete my classics TBR that I'd kind of tentatively set for myself. Then the next goal was to read at least 6 nonfiction books, which I have done. I have actually read 12 nonfiction books so far this year, and there are 2 others that were again on that tentative TBR that I set for myself. So the first one is Blood at the Root by Patrick Phillips. This is got the tagline, A Racial Cleansing in America. I believe it is set in one of the southern states, either Georgia or Alabama, and it basically talks about the fact that a prosperous African-American city was like wiped out due to white supremacy, racist ideology, that kind of thing. So I am curious to read about this one. It's definitely going to be a powerful and impactful read. And then the other one I am not sure I'm actually going to get to because, again, it is chunky. And that one is Nicholas and Alexandra. This is by Robert K. Massey. It says the tragic, compelling story of the last Tsar and his family. This one I have heard very good things about, but again, chunky and no audiobook. So I do not think I'm going to be able to get to this one. We'll just kind of play it by ear. If I don't get it read, I am going to use it in my TBR game for next year, and hopefully we'll get it read at some point next year. But again, this is the other nonfiction that I ideally would like to get read. I'm just not sure it's going to happen. The next goal was to read 1 Nancy Drew book every single month this year. I fell behind pretty early on this. I was like caught up for a little while, then fell behind again. I'm still technically behind, I guess, in that I have not read the book for November yet, but I'm caught up because I finally read all of the ones that I should have read in previous months. So I have 2 Nancy Drews left. The first one is The Haunted Showboat, which is number 35. This one's set in New Orleans, so hopefully it will be a good time. And then the last one is number 36, which is The Secret of the Golden Pavilion. I don't know anything about this one. I haven't read the synopsis, but those are the 2 that I need to read this year, and they should get done. They are very quick reads. I just have to make sure I make time to actually read them. Moving on now to a big goal that I'm not quite going to meet, and that is to have finished 12 series in 2024. Now, I am currently at 6 series completed in their entirety. I have also caught up on 2 series because I caught up on the Finley Donovan series and the Heartstopper series, and then I am hoping to be caught up on a 3rd series by the end of this weekend. That is going to be the Percy Jackson series. This is what he's calling the Senior Year Trilogy. This is the newest release, so if I can get this read, I will also be caught up on that one. And then I did DNF the Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard. Thinking about what is still on my TBR, I need to read Akata Woman by Nnedi Okorafor, which will complete the Insipidity Scripts series, and that will bring my total amount of series completed or caught up on to 11 at the end of the year. So not terrible. However, I did start 6 new series. So that's always like the trade-off with series books. So many books are parts of series. I don't think I'm ever actually going to be caught up completely on, but at least I've made a little bit of progress. So still to be read, as I mentioned, Akata Woman, The Wrath of the Triple Goddess, and then I should be done. If you are curious about the series I have finished this year, I finished The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken, Fractured Fables by Alex E. Harrow, Hex Hall by Rachel Hawkins, Elements of Cadence by Rebecca Ross, Homicide, which is a graphic novel rewriting, I guess, of the book by David Simon, Homicide: Life on the Street, and then the Wilderwood duology by Hannah Witten. Had to think of her name for a minute. So those are the ones that I have actually finished, but I should be at 11 at the end of the year. Then the last two things are two little mini challenges I set for myself. The first one is to participate in the buzzword readathon. I have currently read 10 out of 12 buzzword picks, so I still need to read my pick for November, which is The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. The buzzword for November is only, so there you go. And then I also need to read Love, Holly. This is by Emily Stone. The buzzword for December is a seasonal word, so I went with holly, but obviously this is a Christmas book. I am saving it for December. So this one will get read in December, but I wanted to mention it because I do still need to read it, and this is the end of the year TBR. And the last thing was to read all of the Literally Dead book club picks for 2024. I have read all of the things I was supposed to read with the exception of November, which I am currently reading. So I am working on An Academy for Liars by Alexis Henderson, and I am listening to this one on audio. I am currently on page 71, which is chapter 9. So I've got quite a bit left, but this should get done over the course of the next few days. So I will be able to check this one off as well. So now that I have given you the rundown of where all of these books come from, let's go ahead and do a complete end of the year TBR and see exactly how many books I need to read between now and the end of 2024. So first we have Tamar by Mel Peet, Brightly Woven by Alexandra Bracken, Wildwood Dancing by Juliette Marillier, The Dirt by the members of Motley Crue, The History of the Peloponnesian War by Thucydides, Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen, Blood at the Root by Patrick Phillips, Nicholas and Alexandra by Robert K. Massey, The Haunted Showboat and The Secret of the Golden Pavilion by Carolyn Keene, Akata Woman by Nydia Corafor, The Wrath of the Triple Goddess by Rick Riordan, The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones, Love, Holly by Emily Stone, and An Academy for Liars by Alexis Henderson. So that brings me to a total of 15 books on my end of the year TBR. We'll see if I can get all of them read, but yeah, that's it. Let me know if you have read any of the books that I'm still hoping to read by the end of the year. If you have like quick non-spoilery thoughts, leave them in the comments. You can also leave me the book stack emoji if you made it to the end of this video, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more from me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.